Friends, put your hands together to welcome on stage Quizmaster Big Brain.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you. This is me, Big Brain, and you're with me as we unfold the journey of the Zonal Finals of Tata Crucible for Campuses 2021. After those grueling cluster finals, the wildcards with Rashmi Furtado, and all those exciting moments that you have been witnessing and following us, it is the moment of reckoning for the top 24 of this nation to face off with each other. Today, we've got the best 6 from what has arguably been the toughest of terrains of this year's Campus Crucible, South India. Outstanding quizzers, 6 phenomenal champions, many of them with their own legacies, even at a Tata Crucible. Time for us to take a look at who they are. Let me introduce them to you first. First up, qualifying here today into our final representing Andhra Pradesh from Rao's Degree College is Vikyat. Welcome to you, Vikyat, to this final. Neighbouring Vikyat from the Telangana region from Hyderabad, representing Deccan College of Medical Sciences, is Syed Murtuza Hasmi. Welcome to you, Murtuza. Neighbouring Murtuza as our third finalist here today, representing the Indian Institute of Management from Bangalore, Pratyush Goyal. Welcome, Pratyush. Neighbouring him as the IIMs have dominated this year's Tata Crucible, 3 of them from South India, from the beautiful campus of IIM Kozhikode, with us here today, Rhythm Dhawan. Welcome, Rhythm. Neighbouring him after battling through a tough terrain, including Chennai, which has some outstanding quizzers, and prevailing from that quiz is Anthony Ronald Simon from IIM Trichy. Welcome to you. And completing the lineup from another difficult terrain, which is Coimbatore, from Coimbator's Institute of Technology, a prestigious institution from there. With us is Sharat Chandra. Welcome to you. Those, ladies and gentlemen, are our 6 finalists here today, of whom 1 will go straight into the final. The rules of the game: 100, the value of the answer. 5 seconds of time is the window to answer that. 26 questions as against 24. We'll come to that as we progress. Getting on to the first frontier of our game here today, it's time to get swifter. Here it comes. All right, if you could hold your buzzers up into positions and start with the first one coming up on your screens. Now, this is a famous brand which is called Studio West. None of them on the buzzer. 5 seconds of time ticking away very quickly. And the company that owns this brand, which is what I was looking for, is West Side from the Tatas. Tough first one for everybody. And we go to the next one. Southwest is a fantastic creation by them. It also follows earthly features like marine, etc. Second one on your screens now. Which company or group will eliminate the word normal? Anthony has gone for it.
Unilever.
Absolutely well played. They will eliminate the word normal from all their beauty and personal care packaging and advertising, given the current situation of the world. As we go to the next one, hands on that buzzer. Question on the third one on your screens now. This company from 1993 has been public. From adhesives to paints to a lot of other things. Rhythm is taking a shot. Go ahead.
I'm guessing this is Pidilite.
Well played. Extremely well played. Diversification chart of Pidilite Industries will give 100 to IIM Kozhikode. The IIMs have started well. Trichy and Kozhikode off in a flash. As we go to the next one on your screens now. He is the largest investor in the world when it comes to distressed securities. Who is this person famous for his memos? Wall Street's favorite guru. 5 seconds of time. Ticking away. Everyone is required to be fast. The answer, Howard Marks. Howard Marks has become the guru of distressed securities worldwide. And he's one of those tycoons or kings in that space. Really tough and probing questions, but it is a South Zonal Final that you are witnessing. It is bound to be a benchmark among other quizzes in India. As we go to the penultimate one in this frontier. On your screen, identify the lady. Vikyat, in a flash.
This is Melinda Gates.
Explain.
Melinda Gates, she and Bill Gates run the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So she wrote a book about like uplifting communities and empowering women of the world.
He knows everything about that book. Absolutely well played. Good 100 to him. How to empower change and women in the world. Melinda Gates. 100 to Vikyat. 3 of them on 100. As we go to the final question in this round on your screens. Now. This was an advertisement from Tata Motors. Which specific brand were they promoting with this lovely campaign? Vikyat.
This is Tata Ace.
Tata Ace.
Yeah.
And would you know why?
I think it's like a very heavy duty vehicle. And then in the ads also they say Kuttiyana in Tamil and all. So I'm just guessing.
The Chota Hathi is how Ace got positioned. And they came out with this brilliant environment campaign which said presenting the new mini truck from Tata Motors. Well played. Those of you here on the internet watching this final, I've got a couple of questions for you. And from the many school students who have started messaging us saying, hey, Pig Brain, give us questions that we can crack too. Not that you can't crack questions that are meant for these guys, but well, it's still a zonal round. So I've got some friendly ones which are more general knowledge, but some form minorly business. Let me ask you this. They make a lot of money. They've got great amount of brand value. That's the part you may not necessarily understand. But as school kids, here's a nice one for you. Which club started as Newton Heat Football Club? I'm talking 1878. Most of you must be fans of this. All you got to do is to text the answer in that chat box. You get it right, you stand to win a prize from the Tatas. Here's one more for you. The original ones were created by a person named Dr. David Warren. There are 2 versions of it, so to say, or 2 parts to it. One is called the CVR, the other is called the DFDR. Together, they constitute something extremely important when there is a distress or a calamity. What am I talking about? CVR and DFDR. Play it carefully, answer quickly. We'll take a look at the first scores. Crucible Quotient tells this story. Well, early days, but here's what it says. Vikyat from Rao's Degree College, and he is battling from Andhra Pradesh. He is on 200, but that's a slender margin. Murtuza Pratyush behind him at this point in time, or rather behind Rhythm and Anthony, who are on 100 apiece. Nothing dramatic about the scorecard as yet. As we move to the second frontier, things can change in this phase, as we've seen over the cluster rounds. As we move to the second one, in this frontier of our battle here today, time for our contestants to play sharper. Here it comes. In a world where we keep speaking of viral campaigns, this was one of perhaps the forefathers. On your screen, which brand came out with this sensational campaign? Here it comes on your screen. Wanted all over the world. Vikyat.
This is the Air India Maharaja, Air India.
Who was depicted in very different forms as wanted all over the world. Well, quick and fast on that one. He'll get himself 100. I could have made it tougher saying who planned this campaign, but for the moment he gets what I asked for. 100 to him, and he's moving into the lead further as all of you hold your buzzers in position, and the next question comes up on your screen now. He was a former secretary to the government of India, a technocrat best known for leading the initiative of the Swachh Bharat mission. All you got to tell me is who's this great man. Extraordinary implementer, great leader, 5 seconds of time, known for giving India the success of the Swachh Bharat mission. A technocrat, none on the buzzer, 5 seconds of time has lapsed. The answer that I was looking for, the one and only Parameshwaran Iyer. Great executor, dynamic personality, tough one from insights on an insider, outsider, insider as he called it. On to the next one on your screens now. They gave the world something sensational. Their love story inspired what? In the 1980s, it was their love story and their intention to keep in touch. Someone's going for it. It's Pratyush. Go ahead, Pratyush.
I'll guess that this is probably Eric Johan, and I mean they gave Zoom because they wanted to be in touch, so he created Zoom to be in touch with his loved one.
Oh, the whole world is in touch with each other today on Zoom and other platforms, and it was two people who were in love who wanted to be in touch that gave the raise to Zoom. Pratyush, brilliant answer. Absolutely brilliant answer. Well, if you did not know it, Zoom is a love story, if you want to look at it that way. As we go to the next one from Zoom to this one. Here it comes. All you got to tell me is in 1992, this English fashion designer and businesswoman was awarded the Order of the British Empire. Vikyat.
I'm guessing this is Diane von Furstenberg.
We'll give you a minus 100. He's taking his chances. He took a half chance on that one. He gets a minus. Vivienne Westwood is the person that I was looking for. Takes a negative. Oh, he knows he should have got that right. Well, he's normally good with his fashion-related questions, so he's logically upset about it. But then, he's still in the lead. The lead gets a little more slender. On the next one on your screen, now. Italian luxury vehicle, the name is missing. A manufacturer which was started by 6 brothers in 1914. Vikyat.
This is Alfieri Maserati.
Beautifully played. Oh, beautifully played. Alfieri Maserati, the missing name on your screen. Gets him back the 100 that he lost on Miss Westwood. As we go to the next one on your screens now. This is Wilbur Atwater. He was an American chemist who's extremely popular for his work and studies on human nutrition. He came out with a method of counting something that people even today use as an index to count and measure. Rhythm's going for it. Yes, Rhythm.
I'll take a guess. I'll say it's BMI, Body Mass Index.
Well, you get a minus 100 on that. He is believed to be the father of calorie count. Well, how did calorie counting come into existence? It was because of this chemist, and calorie counting is something all of us count and then ignore, at least me. Well, as we go to the next one, hands on that buzzer on your screen. Here it comes. This is a campaign by a famous delivery player. Pratyush.
Yeah, so Instamart is by Swiggy, so it's their own stores where you can even buy groceries and everything.
Extremely well played. Pratyush is quick and fast on the buzzer. He's shown that in the past. He gets another 100, takes himself to 200. He's beginning to close in, I think, on Vikyat. But I don't want to really hedge on my mental math. As we go to the next one on your screens, overall entity is what I want. Here it comes. Rhythm on the buzzer. Go ahead, Rhythm.
I'll guess Aditya Birla Group.
We'll give you a minus. Oh, Ambuja Cement and ACC Cement are now part of Holcim. They've all become part of a global giant. It's only Ultratech that would be part of the Aditya Birla Group. And, well, that's the knowledge of the cement industry I have. But for the moment, this battle's getting tight. Rhythm's moving to pluses and minuses. He needs a flurry somewhere. As we go to the next one, buzzers can be fast from here. Overall answer is what matters. Careful. Here it comes. Anthony is quick on the buzzer. Yes, Anthony. Your mic.
So I'm guessing it is. Flipkart.
You're guessing the connection is Flipkart. Anthony from I Am Trichy, a -100 on that. Sam's Wholesale Club, Bharti, the Indian partner when they came in. ASDA, the other name.
Walmart.
Walmart is the answer that we were looking for. Well, no points to the others, but they know they should have gone faster on the buzzer. The buzzers are really making a very big difference here today to the speed of the game. And everyone is so good at a South Zone level, it's a split second that can make a world of difference. And that's the whole game now. You're all used to lightning chess. Perhaps this is the version of lightning quizzing in a sense. As we go to the next one on your screens now. All of this will lead you to one answer. A scribble. Pratyush on the buzzer. Go ahead, Pratyush.
Yeah. Twitter. Periscope is owned by Twitter, and this is the first, part
The
of
logo
Twitter
is
Vanguard.
Periscope. Go on.
Yeah. So that's the first. I think Jack Dorsey drew how Twitter will look like. That's the UI that they have. Vanguard, I'm guessing, but John Bogle or Vanguard Group might have invested something. But overall answer is Twitter.
Pratyush knows a lot about Twitter, and I think that brings him on par with Vikyat. From IIM Bangalore, Pratyush is playing a very, very good game. Well, 2 more questions to go, after which I will tell you where the contestants stand. This battle's really becoming a close and tight one. There are some outstanding quizzers waiting in the wings. They can come back in no time. But for the moment, the penultimate question in this frontier on your screen. Careful. Here it comes. Overall answer is what matters. Taster's choice. Rhythm on the buzzer. Go on.
I'm guessing this as Nestle.
Well played. Extremely well played. Nestle's Anglo-Swiss Condensed Milk Company is absolutely right, as that gives him the extremely important 100 that he required to get back into the fray. 2 of them, I think, on level scores, and then all 4 of them on the level scores, but different scores, of course. I'll tell you where that is after this question. Here's the last one. The buzzer speed could be important as much as the overall answer. On your screen, here it comes. Sharat, in a flash. Go ahead.
Let's say Aadhar Poonawala Group, Serum Ministry.
What's your final answer?
Serum Ministry. Poonawala Group.
Is a -100. They have nothing really to do with Imperial Chemical Industries, which is ICI. The answer that I was looking for is the other name missing in that list for you, which is AstraZeneca. Well, you should have thought it out. That's the reason we give you multiple images. Sarah taking a minus on that one. And ladies and gentlemen, to those of you watching this on the internet, here's one more for you, and this is an interesting one. I was orphaned, and I was the son of an upper-class English parents from African origins. Upon the death of my parents, I was adopted and raised by a species of animals. I am a famous character on whom many movies have been made. Who am I? As we move on to take a look at the scorecard, Crucible Quotient on your screen. On 300 apiece are Vikyat from Rouse Degree College, Andhra Pradesh, and Pratyush from IIM Bangalore. And that, in my opinion, is no great comfort of a lead, though it's 300. People can narrow in on that in very quick time. Murtuza, Rhythm, Anthony, all have shown that they can be phenomenal quizzers. Sharat is no mean player on the buzzer. He's on a -100. He may have a slightly more difficult situation than the others. But trust me, this quiz in my mind is still wide open. Though, on the face of it, it might look like a battle between Vikyat and Pratyush. We move on to the next frontier of our game here today. It's time for us to present before you questions from the corner office. Here it comes. It's almost now a predictable association between Mr. Harish Bhatt and us at Tata Crucible as we present before you questions researched by Mr. Bhatt, the brand custodian of the Tata Group, a phenomenal quizzer, and as our folklore, if one calls it, goes, it is his way of protesting for not being allowed to take part in a Tata Crucible. A former runner-up himself, we really appreciate his phenomenal sense of commitment and time in every time being part of this zonal and final stages of a quiz with his well-researched questions. The value of the questions remain the same from the corner office of Mr. Harish Bhatt. 100 the value, 5 seconds the time as I present these questions to you. Starting with the first one, on your screens, you got to narrate the story to me. Here it comes. A famous man from the world of Tatas, a photograph of some initial people who were sent for a purpose. The year 1920. Vikyat is taking a chance at it in my opinion. Go ahead, Vikyat.
This is the team that was sent to play hockey. Like the Tatas, they sponsored their this is the, I think this is Sir Ratan Tata. He had a great they had a great interest in sports, so they set up the academy, and this was the initial team.
You've given me too many things. Give me an answer.
This is the Tata Hockey Academy.
We'll give you a -100. Vikyat went for a final answer. The Hockey Academy came much later. I helped you with 1920. And this is Dorabji Tata and not Sir Ratan Tata. So you got the Tata wrong as well. And he was, in fact, one of the people in that photograph is Purma Banerjee, who happens to be a great sprinter. So this was essentially a team that was sent to the Olympics with mix of wrestlers, sprinters, and all of them. And it was after that, in the next Olympics, that a hockey team was put in place. And that's when we won our first gold medal in the Olympics for hockey. As we go to the next one, hands on the buzzer, question on your screen now. These are all dependencies of which Pratyush? Go ahead.
Yeah, so I will guess that, I mean, so essentially like, so the third one is Anguilla, from where we get .ai. The last one is the coat of arms of Bermuda. So, I mean, I'm guessing that all these places are, I mean, a lot of, I mean, the kind of money that they get in poured in is because of, I mean, their domain ID. So, .ai is used by a lot of companies, right? So, similarly, I mean, a lot of these, I mean, end up getting the money via the domain names that there. So, Anguilla, Bermuda, and I mean, the coat of arms.
Like Tuvalu has .tv and they
like
make money
.tv
out
for
of that.
Tuvalu, correct.
A -100 to him. He went on a drift. He didn't wait for me to complete the question. I was looking, I used the word dependencies as he just buzzed. I'm not too sure he heard that as he was buzzing. But the answer that I was looking for is all these are economic dependencies on the United Kingdom. And Brexit has made them look in a spot of bother on, you know, how things would go for them. So I was leading them into a far larger economic question. But too quick to buzz and stopping me there was Pratyush. A -100 to him, which will actually give Vikyat a sense of relief. Because he took a -100, Pratyush takes a -100. Well, Mr. Harish Bhatt's questions do create a spot of bother here in the southern interface of Tata Crucible. As we move into the final frontier of our battle here today, it's time to think smarter. Here it comes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with 6 questions to go, this quiz is very, very tantalizingly poised. Remember, there is a second place which can take you into a playoff. If you're ready, you're starting with the first one. Hands on the buzzer. Realizing that all customers might not be able to relate to pure vanilla and simple doctor-led advertising, GlaxoSmithKline changed its tone and made it more reliable with the Love of Food campaign. So people could understand the sensitivity of hot and cold food. Rhythm.
Sensodyne. the
Well played.
toothpaste brand.
Extremely well played. The positioning plan of Sensodyne, which said hot food, cold food. Despite having sensitivity issues, you can have Sensodyne. Clever. 100 to Rhythm, and he's now in striking distance. As we go to the next one. As part of the First World War effort, they manufactured thousands of miles of field telephone wires for trenches, assembled hundreds of telephones which were packed in locally purchased egg boxes. This company later went on to become one of the giants in the world in the tire business. Who are we talking about? A tire giant who played a very different role as part of World War I. Nobody on the buzzer. 5 seconds of time lapsing. Tough questions in the Southern interface. Keeping the quiz more like a marathon. The answer, Pirelli tires. As we go to the next one, hands on the buzzer. People need to take their half chances. But here's the next one. The initial purpose of floating this bank was to finance the expansion of rail networks and industrialization in that country. They issued loans that helped to create Switzerland's electric grid and the European rail system. Today, it is a global wealth manager, investment banker, Vikyat.
This is UBS.
UBS will give you a -100. Well, from the world of Switzerland, the answer, Credit Suisse. Well, from the world of Roger Federer to the world of Switzerland, Credit Suisse is really creating a very, very competitive environment here. Every negative on 100 is going to encourage the others. Murtuza on 0 will tell himself, I need 100. So will Anthony. Rhythm's going to tell himself, 100 from me is going to put me on par with Pratyush. Pratyush is going to tell himself, 100 by me is going to take me really closer to the national final. Dramatic South Zone final. 3 questions to go. You certainly do not want to move from anywhere that you are comfortable seated and watching this quiz. Here's the next one. November 24th, 1804. The British made this a district headquarter. Before that, for over 1,500 years, this place has been a cluster of villages. It's a city that derives its name from a popular tribal chief called Kovan and is one of the largest exporter hubs today, Murtuza.
Yeah, it's Coimbatore.
Well played. 100 to Murtuza. Absolutely well played. Kovan, even today, many refer to it as Kovai. And the tribal chief lends his name to the creation of the modern Coimbatore. A very, very modern city known for exporting wet grinders, poultry material, jewelry, and of course, neighboring Tirupur with its garments. Sharath will be disappointed. He did not buzz on that one. He's smiling, actually, which is a good sportive way. Murtuza getting a crucial 100. 2 questions to go. Penultimate question from me. These are credited with being initially created by Shigitaka Kurita in 1999. Intended only for the Japanese market in those days because people understood these better than words. Over a decade, Unicode Consortium, Rhythm is taking the chance of his life.
I am guessing these are emojis, emoticons.
Emojis or emoticons, which were pictorial explanation to Japanese people. Rhythm from I Am Koikode gets 100. Oh, lovely. Well, Pratyush is not happy because I think he knew the answer. I just get a feeling from body language that Pratyush knew the answer but was not hitting the buzzer. Rhythm took the chance. Murtuza and Vikyat were kicking themselves saying, hey, we should have gone for it as well. The final question, tough one. Warning you on that. 2 of them on 200. Anyone can still reach 200. The game's literally between Vikyat, Murtuza, Pratyush and Rhythm. Pratyush and Rhythm for the top spot unless one of them complicates it and makes it a 3-way tiebreaker. Final question. Hear me out. It's a long question. It's not easy. I'm warning you. Most often people don't take my warnings, but that's okay. Here we go. One theory which is commonly accepted suggests that the origination of this phrase or the origin of this phrase comes from a fraud common in fairs and markets from the 16th century. According to it, livestock merchants would sell piglets in bags and instruct customers to not open the bag until they reached their home to ensure that the animal does not escape from the bag. What phrase for hiding secrets in business comes from this habit of stock or livestock being kept inside and not being opened up? It's a very common phrase in English that is used today to keep secrets of companies as secrets. And people are told this line as instructions. Commonly used, especially when scams and scandals unfold. Nobody even taking a half. Oh, Vikyat's taking his half chance.
I'm just guessing it's the last question. I'm guessing this is insider trading because they're putting it inside and traveling.
Well, he went for insider trading, which I think is too heavy duty an answer. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a tiebreaker between two IIMs here today. I'm Bangalore and I'm Kozhikode. But the answer first. The answer, don't let the cat out of the bag. Well, sometimes Murtuza is smiling. He says, hey man, I should have got that. Vikyat is kicking himself saying, how did I miss that? Well, one of the two things Pratyush and Rhythm did not do on the last question is they did not let their cat out of the bag. And that's good to do in a quiz. Sometimes the courage to keep quiet is difficult. But Pratyush has played a brilliant game, held on to his nerves, held on to sometimes probably his temptations. But here's Crucible Quotient on your screen. What a finale here today from the Southern Interface. Two IIMs will battle with each other. Rhythm from IIM Kozhikode, Pratyush from IIM Bangalore. One will go into the final, one will go into the playoff. So they're not going to be too worried. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a tiebreaker coming up here at the Southern Interface. Here we go. It's a tie between two IIMs. IIM Bangalore, IIM Kozhikode. Pratyush versus Rhythm. Well, who is going to ensure themselves with a place in the national final? That's really what matters. The winner will go through. First question, hands on the buzzer, only to the two of you. Here I go. This is a firm that was founded in 1936 by Leo Goodwin Sr., his wife Lillian Goodwin, essentially to provide the automobile industry with some support, directly providing them with some help linked to the federal government employees and to their families. Which great firm in the world of insurance, represented by an amazing character, cute and global, are we talking about? Big, gigantic insurance firm, started with focus in the automobile sector. Neither of them are taking a chance on it. Pratyush has gone for it. Oh boy, huge insurance firm. Leo Goodwin and Lillian Goodwin. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think this is GEICO, the government employee insurance company which was set up.
Pratyush, on an insurance question, has taken a half chance. Well, he believes he's not wrong, and sometimes your guesstimates can be wrong. IIM Bangalore in the national final. Pratyush, oh, look at that. Oh. Look at that joy, look at that expression. Two IIMs with two different emotions. Rhythm clapping for him. Pratyush really pumping his fists because Pratyush knows he's really gone through some outstanding competitors. Vikyat, former champion from Singapore on multiple occasions. Murtuza has hardly ever lost when the quiz has happened at Hyderabad. He is arguably one of those non-business students who's been an outstanding ambassador of business quizzing as a doctor. Pratyush battling Rhythm. Rhythm has beaten a former Tata Crucible national champion to be here today. Anthony has beaten IIT Madras, which rarely loses at a Crucible, which means this was a heavyweight final. Coimbatore is always tricky. Sharath, of course, has been a very good quizzer from his school to college days, though he's still beginning to learn the tricks and trades of business quizzing. But ladies and gentlemen, it is Pratyush from IIM Bangalore who will go directly into the national final. Extraordinarily well played. And with some top quizzers out here, they only know how well he's played. Murtuza sitting back and clapping, saying, hey buddy, well played. And so does Rhythm, which is wonderful sporting spirit. Rhythm, of course, will battle another day between the 4 runners-up and will hopefully find himself in the top 2 among them to be in the national final, again to face off against Pratyush. But for the moment, ladies and gentlemen, as we unfold this series of zonal finals to you, it's my pleasure and privilege to bring on a very senior member of the Tata fraternity, someone who's been an extraordinary support for us every time we have done quiz shows. Whether it's for schools, colleges or corporates, he's someone who's seen many of these youngsters. He's seen Vikyat, he's seen Murtuza, he's seen all of them on stage in the past, growing up perhaps with a Tata Crucible. But ladies and gentlemen, for the moment, it's our pleasure and privilege to thank him for taking time off, a senior vice president and the global head for the technology business unit and the head of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Very important combination of states for India and the Tatas. At Tata Consultancy Services, it's our pleasure and privilege to welcome Mr. Rajanna. Sir, thank you so much for taking time off and being with us, albeit in a virtual medium. Though, as a technology evangelist, you might advocate this medium more than a physical quiz show.
Absolutely.
But being someone who's in the forefront of leading the resilience of India, so to say, it's easily been the toughest year that no one ever thought of in our careers. And these are youngsters. What's your message to them, sir, as an industry leader?
I think, am I audible, Giri?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, first of all, good to see you. And also, of course, Murtuza after a long time. And I do hope the guys enjoyed the Crucible, even though it's a virtual edition, right? And as you rightly said, 2000 and 2021 have been challenging for everyone. But I think the good point I noted down for the last 30 minutes is I see a lot of energy, enthusiasm, and passion in all these guys. And special congratulations to both Pratyush and Rhythm. In fact, everyone must be congratulated, right? And hopefully next year we will see all these guys in person. Otherwise, pandemic is not yet over, so please take care.
Well, thank you so much for that message, sir. Yes, truly, there are thousands who took part this year because it was digital. And the ease of participation, of course, was way easier. Thanks, of course, to your team at TCS ION as TCS, which enabled the technology part of our preliminaries. But ladies and gentlemen, on that word of encouragement and caution to stay safe, as we sometimes should not think the pandemic is behind us, let's celebrate our 2 who go through from here as runner-up moving into the playoffs from IIM Kozhikode. Put your hands together, if I should say that, for young Rhythm. Well played, Rhythm. A wonderful effort by him to not give up. And it was towards the end that he bounced back into the final and ensured that he finishes runner-up. So, ladies and gentlemen, the runner-up from IIM Kozhikode, Rhythm. And ladies and gentlemen, holding on to his nerves and finally taking a half chance. Life is about backing yourself. And that's probably what they keep teaching you at any of the management schools. How much of a risk do you take and how calculated can you be when you take that risk? Pratyush, willing to take those chances, gets himself as a champion into the national final. From the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, it's a big win for him as he puts himself in the nation's top 6. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll figure out if Rhythm also gets there after the playoffs. But for the moment, at a phenomenal South Zonal final, it's our pleasure and privilege to thank Mr. Rajanna for joining us. Truly appreciate your presence, sir. And like you said, we look forward to being back on ground. And I'm sure a year from now, we will do that.
And Pratyush, all the best for national finals.
Well, maybe Rhythm will get there too. South India players are usually good. Maybe Rhythm will get there too. But thank you so much, sir. Truly appreciate the time that you take out for us every time we request you. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, after that remarkable final that we witnessed. I warned you, the Southern Zonal can be quite a battle to witness. It really went up and down, up and down. Vikyat off to a flying start, taking the negatives. I think at a point in time he had reached 400. He's going to look back at the scorecards and tell himself, what the hell did I do today? As the winning score is on a tiebreaker 250. Pratyush from IIM Bangalore going through into the national final. Rhythm will prevail to play in the playoffs later and will hopefully find himself in the top 2 from there into the top of the top 6 of India. But for the moment, ladies and gentlemen, after that remarkable first zonal, we will be back with you with more action at Tata Crucible. From me, Pig Brain, from all of us here at Team Tata Crucible, thank you for tuning in. Stay safe till we come back to you again. Goodbye.